Alayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaye Dakshina Namaha Om Namah Pranavadhaya Shuddha-jnanaika-murtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshina-murtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I use your gift even extensively even today. I find it very useful to keep my notes even as I'm reading. There were some questions that have come to me. There should be questions, there will be questions, because we are talking at a level, not at the primary level, at a fairly advanced level of discussion. In the other class, in Advaita Makaranda, of course, we right then and there discuss it. Here we will not do that, but please keep those thoughts and questions coming. One, if we can coordinate that. Divyansh, will you do that, please? Take all the questions that come from anybody. Please send your questions we can put it in the group or send it to Divyansh. He will collate them. What we will do is the last Valli, as soon as we finish this, we will allocate one, maybe if necessary, depending upon the number of questions, 2 sessions, only to look at all the doubts and questions and clear them up. Because now we are looking at things not just at the level of Vyavaharika. It is not purely only virtual reality we are looking at, in which we are part. We are also looking at it every time, reminding ourselves that we are looking at it also from the Paramarthika perspective. And there, the observations change completely. So sometimes it looks like it's contrary to what I think we know, it's contrary to what is logical to me. We will address all of those things if they are not very clear. Yadidam kincha
Yadidam kimcha
jagat sarvam
jagat sarvam
prane ejati nisvatam
pranayati
प्राणायजति
nisritam
निःसृतम्
mahadbhayam vajramudyatam
महद्भयं
mahadvyam
वज्रमुद्यतम्
vajramudyatam
etad viduramrtaste bhavanti.
य
ya etad
एतद्विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ति.
bhavanti.
We've been looking at the nimitta karanam. This whole mantra, the focus is to establish the nimitta karanam. We keep talking of Brahman as the karanam, Jagat karanam. And we define Brahman as Satyam Jnanam Anantam. And first level of possible confusion which we have to overcome is the very meaning of these words, Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam. It's a topic we have discussed earlier. We will continue to discuss it again and again till the thing becomes very clear. The Satyam that we understand from the Vyavaharika perspective, the Jnanam we understand from the Vyavaharika perspective, and the Anantam that we understand from Vyavaharika perspective are all limited. because the whole Vyavaharika is limited. It is like even the virtual reality we were talking about yesterday, all those headsets and things like that, their vision is only limited. You create a new reality, a virtual reality, but that's a limited reality. All these guys, Meta and everybody is working on various technology to expand that, but it's still very limited. And anything you look at from that perspective will be limited. So definitions of Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam are all limited. But when we are looking at a word like Anantam, then the difference between the Anantam that you look at from the Paramarthika perspective and the Anantam that you look at from the Vyavaharika perspective is, Vyavaharika perspective looks at Anantam within a space-time scale. It looks like we have taken everything into account. It is still within the three kalas. Whereas the Anantam we are talking about is Trikala Atitaha. In the same way that Anantam is not identical to this Anantam. This Anantam is, if you look at it from a mathematical perspective, an infinitely large. But that Anantam is infinite. You see the difference. This is still limited. It is large, infinitely large. Like you say, the number of stars in the sky. Infinitely large number of stars, but still limited. But infinite is limitless. Similarly, with all the other words, Jnanam, by definition in the world, is limited. No scientist, no specialist in any field will ever make a statement, I know everything that is to be known about my field. Because he recognizes this. He recognizes that when I say I know a lot, I also simultaneously recognize that there is so much more that I don't know. I keep digging all my life in that one specific field. I never can make a statement, I know everything. Whereas that Jnanam we are talking about in Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, variously called Nyapti or Nya Dhatu Artha, is that which is everything. Same Anantam we are talking about is that Jnanam. Same thing with Satyam. Every Satyam that we talk about in this Jagat will have, look at it this way. I talk of Satyam as best as I know. But there is a negative minus Satyam, if you want, Anartham, which is on the other end of the scale. The more I increase it, the more that increases, but never ends. The Anantam we are talking about is that Satyam which is limitless. So the word limitless has to be understood very correctly. So here also Bhagavan is talking about that Parabrahman. Here the word Param itself means limitless. Mahat. Hey, Mahat again is a word which you use very common here in our usage in Jagat. Mahat Mumbai, whatever it's called. Greater Mumbai. This Mahat we talk about is limitless. So all these words have to be understood.
Mahat Nagar Palika.
Word meaning, which is Vachyartha, and has limitations. The words we are trying to understand are the lakshyartha, or the meaning that should be seen as what is intended by Shastra. So all of these words that Bhashyakara uses, we have to read with this understanding. So far, what Bhashyakara has done is to show the fact of a nimitta karanam, an intelligence behind all this. He's given us the using the man in authority, a Raja, whose presence activates everybody to do what is to be done as per the rule. In the office, people are sitting around chatting. Suddenly message comes. They all have a grapevine, no? They know, oh, bosses come, bosses come. Quickly, everything disperses. Everybody goes back to his station and is working, at least looking like working, because the boss is there. That is what has been shown here. But that by saying that the man in authority who has the power, therefore the Vajra, causes all people, all the Vritta, to work as they should work. Niyamena tat shasane vartante. This we saw. But this Jagat consists of a lot of things happening. There is movement all the time. Everything is moving, changing. Not only the sentient beings, the human beings and other beings, but also what is insentient. They also have to follow rules and laws. If they don't follow rules and laws, if the planets which are revolving around the sun decide one day, one particular planet decides one day, this, I'm getting tired of this elliptical orbit, I'm going to go into a different orbit. Finished. The whole system will collapse. One day the earth suddenly decides, I'm tired of spinning on like a top, I'm going to slow down. No more life will be possible. They all have to follow the law. Who makes that law? We discover that law. We because we've studied in school books, attribute that law to Kepler. Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Not more than 200 years ago. But your Panchangam has been written from time immemorial. They mentioned in Rigveda. The planetary movements are studied by ancient rishis purely by observation. No equipment, no instruments. They saw the sun. In fact, this experiment all of us can do. Every day at a given time from the same spot, you observe one planet or one object on the sky. Maybe the moon, maybe the Venus, whatever you want to observe. And you can see how it is going. And from that, you can do a lot of derivation, which is what these rishis have done. They observed all of these movements, and based on that, they have been able to calculate accurately the movement of every planet, every star. But these were codified into laws by Kepler. Therefore, the world which studies what is given by the Western thinkers, attributes these laws to Kepler. The argument is now that they know that they're already available to us in various texts like Surya Siddhanta or Aryabhata. Now it's available. Everybody has studied them and know that it's already there. So now the justification is they did not codify it in the form of a law. It was not mathematically shown. If they didn't have the mathematics behind it, they could never have done this Panchangam. Okay, even if you say that whoever codified the law, whether it's Kepler or it is any of the other people, Aryabhatta or anybody else, they only codified the law. In the sense that they wrote the law that follows this pattern. There are elliptical orbits. And this orbit takes so much time to finish one cycle. This orbit takes so much time to finish one cycle. Who made those laws? Who gave those laws for all the planets and others to follow? Kepler didn't give the law. Kepler only uncovered the law. Even if you accept that Kepler was a man. So who actually gave the law? No, we know all about law of gravity. Okay? Who creates the law of gravity? Newton only discovered it. Somebody has already made the law. The Shasanakarta. It is there. We only uncovered it. All knowledge is already there in the universe. We are only uncovering by removing layers of ignorance. So who made those laws? Who dictated that the sun should take so much time to travel? The earth should take 24 hours to rotate, and should take 365.24 days to complete one cycle. We discovered those numbers. Rishis discovered way before the so-called modern scientists did. But that was only uncovering it by uncovering the layers of ignorance. We didn't know. It was there already. It's all Siddhavastu. They also follow the law. They also have the laws which have been dictated to them. Therefore, the whole universe, not just the people in the universe, not just the beings in the universe, but everything in the universe follows laws. Those laws is what we call the order of Ishvara, Shasanakarta. So having first shown that due to, in quotes, fear, the people, employees, servants, all follow the law. That law is Ishvara. That law is the order called Ishvara. Everything within the Sharira also follows the same thing. Everything in the Sharira is so beautifully laid down. Every law is laid down. Every component of the Sharira works flawlessly. Sure, they look like there are flaws, but those flaws are all part of the same system. The law is also that as the body gets older, it will undergo changes. That is law, part of the same law. So Bhashyakara takes up next the various cosmic bodies, which along with the preceding deities for every process, every function. This is something unique we have. If a certain process is followed, this is common to everybody. And this commonality has a preceding deity who is the implementer of that law. He didn't make the law. A devata. But he has certain capacity, certain power delegated to him by Ishvara. So all the knowledge that you have about a function of the pancreas, all pancreas work the same way. There is a deity for pancreas, a domain expert, a person, for want of a better word, a devata, who we can approach saying, my pancreas is not working very well. Please help me. It is not Ishvara. It is the devata for that function. Like that, every function which has certain commonality has a common presiding deity. So Bhashyakara takes up this in terms of the cosmic bodies and says, we will read from the Bashyam. Yeah. Tatha idam
तथा इदं
Indraditya graha nakshatra tarakadi lakshanam
चन्द्रादित्यग्रहनक्षत्रतारकादिलक्षणं
Jagat Seshwaram
जगत्सेश्वरं
Niyamena
नियमेन
नियमेन
Kshanamapi Avishrantam
क्षणमपि अविश्रान्तं
Kshanamapi Avishrantam Vartate
क्षणमपि
क्षणमपि
तं वर्तते
अविश्रान्तं वर्तते
Tam Bhavati.
इत्युक्तं भवति
इत्युक्तं भवति
It is appropriate to say it is Uktam. It is said, it's the message that has come. What is the message? Tatha idam. The entire Jagat, like these employees and servants we talked about in the previous part of the Bhashyam, who follow all the laws because of the presence of the one in authority, the Shashana Karta, who has made the laws, who ensures that all the laws are followed. In the same way, Tatha, the entire Jagat, all of these Jagat, along with their preceding deities, which then gives them a sense of sentiency, also follow the laws that have been prescribed for them. Tatha, idam, there should be a word Jagat somewhere. Idam Jagat. Tatha, idam Jagat. This whole Jagat, along with Jagat, Sa Ishwaram, Seshwaram, along with their presiding deity. Every component of this Jagat, along with the presiding deity, also Niyamena Vartate, because they follow the law. They therefore act according to the law. They behave according to the law. Pravartate, they are all the time doing what is supposed to be done. All the time. They don't sit down and rest. I'm too tired. I've done this for so many years. Not one component can do that. Niyamena vartate. It is what is said. Like the case of all the employees and servants, everything else in this Jagat, along with the Samashti Ishvara, Niyamena Vartate. They also follow all the laws that are there, the order of Ishvara. Not only do they follow all the laws of it as prescribed, they do it without a break. Kshanamapi avishrantam. Vishrantam is rest. You know that. Avishrantam. Without breaking for coffee. Not even for an instant. Not even for instant coffee. Kshanamapi avishrantam. Non-stop, continuously they do their function. At least we human beings take some amount of break ourselves. But our systems don't take a break. Your prana, apana, udana, samana, vyana, they can't take a break. They have to continue to operate. Your prana cannot say suddenly that that's Vayu. Vayu goes in and Vayu comes out. Goes in again and comes out again. Can't take a break. All the functions, circulation function, digestion function, every function is constantly operating. On a cosmic scale, everything is operating constantly. Nothing ever stops. So, Kshanamena avishrantam vartate. They operate without a break. Who are they? Ashikara gives us some details. Idam jagat sarvam sa ishwaram niyamena kshanamapi abhishrantam vartate. What are those? Chandra, Aditya, Graha, Nakshatra, Taraka, Adi, Lakshanam. This whole jagat characterized by all of these things, the whole cosmos. What are those? Chandra. All satellites represented by Chandra. Chandra is a satellite. It's neither a planet nor a star. All satellites follow the law that is specified for them. Aditya, Surya, the central portion of the solar system, along with entire family, continues to move in space, continues to provide light and heat. It is, they say, cooling down. That is also order. That is also Ishvara. The day it cools down adequately, the entire earth will freeze. So, whole solar system with sun as the center, like that there are many systems around specific suns. All of them follow the niyama. All planets, all the planets, including these shadow planets, they all follow the exact law specified. That is why we're able to cast a horoscope, the position of all the planets at a particular time. And their impact on human life has been studied. There are laws there also. The moon affects the mind. Moon is related to mother. Guru is a very powerful planet, can offset the negative effect of almost any other combination of planets, if it is the right place. This is why you're able to draw the horoscope at any given point of time, because they all follow a law. How can you say there's no mathematics in that? Because of that, you're able to actually compute exact date of birth of Lord Rama, exact date of coronation of Lord Rama. People who know can look at the position of these things and the descriptions given in the Ramayana and exactly date them. How? Because they follow, all of them follow the law. All the planets, all the stars, all the satellites, all of them follow a certain law. And people who write these have studied and known the law. They may not have codified it into a mathematical formula for others to follow, but they knew. Today, the same knowledge has been codified in the form of computer programs. You only have to enter your place, date, and time of birth, and the computer spews out your horoscope at that point in time. How? Because it all follows certain laws. And these laws are known. The Chandra, Aditya, all the grahas, all the nakshatras. Again, look at the beauty of this. We call nakshatra is not a single star. What we call nakshatra is a constellation. Saptarishi. We have got these 27 nakshatras. No? They all have a certain formation of stars. And they tend to move together. All of them, the star groupings. Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, Rohini, etc., etc. 27 star groups. Their movement is all known. Their behavior is known. How they affect beings is known. Incredible if you think about it. And individual stars, Taraka. Dhruva Nakshatra, other Nakshatra, Vashishta Nakshatra. All follow certain clean laws. They don't deviate from them, not even a kshanam. They characterize this entire Jagat. Already beings have been talked about. This whole cosmos follows laws of Ishvara, the order of Ishvara, without a break even for an instant. When you understand this, the nature of the Shashanakarta, who has written down these laws? Not written down, who's dictated these laws, if you want. Understand that as the Parabrahman. And when you look at your Sharira, every bit of the Sharira follows the laws of somebody. It's a beautiful thing to understand. Therefore, the Sharira, every component, the mind, the brain, all of them follow laws of Ishvara. The only Chaitanyam, only Nimitta Karanam. All of them follow that law. So when you understand that, then it becomes obvious that I has to be that. There's no other I. All that I thought of as I becomes part of what follows the law of I. Amazing. But we don't get it very easily. Have you heard people say, look at a youngster, a 25-year-old youngster, driving a two-wheeler. And you know how 25-year-olds drive two-wheelers. And think, 25 years ago, I also used to drive a two-wheeler like this only. Weaving through lanes, weaving through traffic. And then make a statement. I will never be 25 again. What is he saying? This Sharira, Karyakarana Sanghata, is now 51 years old or 50 years old. This Sharira will never be 25 years old again. But what does he actually say? I will never be 25 years old again. The error is obvious. The I that he is talking about follows laws of Ishvara, the order of Ishvara. Maybe even we ourselves have said this. I remember something registered in my mind long time ago. When I was about 50 or so, in the 50s. Another friend of mine was probably around the same age. His son went off on a two-wheeler with his girlfriend. And we were looking, saying bye to them. And he said, to be young again. This Sharira is never going to be at that age. What do we say? I wish I were young. You are not. You are Ananta. There is no young, old about it. What is young or old is only the Sharira. He who understands this, he who understands the nature of this Param Brahma as the Shasanakarta, as the giver of the laws. All the laws are given. Who is the giver? That giver, that Parabrahma, one who understands what happens to that person. He says, Ye etad viduhu
एतद्विदुः
swatma pravritti sakshibhutam
आत्मप्रवृत्तिसाक्षिभूतम्
साक्षिभूतम्
ekam brahma
एकं
एकं
ब्रह्म
ब्रह्म
amritaha
अमृताः
अमृताः
dharmanaha
अमरधर्माणस्ते
अमरधर्माणः
amarana dharmanaha
अमरणधर्माणः
अमरणधर्माणः
te bhavanti
ते
ते
भवन्ति
भवन्ति
ye etad viduhu, those who know the truth like this. Etad, this jnanam they have of the fact that the entire Jagat, which includes this Karyakarana Sanghata, all of them follow certain laws which are already given. The laws are there. Unlike science, they are not codified in a book, but they are there. Therefore, there must be a giver of the laws. Everything is given. The ability to uncover the laws is given. The ability to understand the laws is given. The laws are given, ability to know the laws are given, ability to remove the ignorance is given, ability to remove the ignorance is given. Who is the giver? One who understands this giver, tattvata, aparokshataya, for such a person, Ye etad viduhu, those who know this truth of the Ishvara being the abhinna nimitta karanam for the entire Jagat. Which has laid down the laws which are followed by everybody, who is the Sakshi of everything. Beautiful word, Sakshi. It is not that, in the slave ships, there are these guys who row, slaves. And there are two guys, one guy beating a drum to keep the rhythm. Dong, 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 dong. And these guys are rowing, so they all row in unison. And there's one guy with a whip. Not like that. Purely through understanding. Ye etad viduhu swatma pravritti sakshi bhutam. With respect to the Jagat, everything is being conducted, being done because of this Sakshi. We call it Sakshi. And we studied and argued about this Sakshi and Sakshitvam when we were doing the last verse of the Advaita Makaranda. This Swatma Pravritti Sakshi, the one who is seeing the thing being done by individual components of this Jagat, including my Sharira, all of which follow certain laws. Swatma Pravritti Sakshi Bhutam Ekam Brahma recognizes this Parabrahma as one, as the Shasanakarta, as the giver of the laws, as the entire Karanam for all of these things that we observe. Such a person, Amritaha Bhavanti. They are immortalized. Again, we use this word, immortalized, like the alchemists were trying to do, no? Find the elixir which will give you immortality. Hey, that they're talking about immortality of the body, which is not possible. The only way you can get the immortality is if Nachiketa had accepted Yamadharmaraja's offer, saying, don't ask this question, I will give you as long a life as you want. In this Sharira. Amritaha, Bhashyakara says, should understand, Amarana Dharmanaha. The understanding that if there is only one Param Brahma, and by extension, I is that Param Brahma, they cannot be different. Then, clearly, Param Brahma is Anantam, as I understand correctly, Anantam. Therefore, I is also Anantam. It is our mortal life, we say, is as Marana Dharma. It is born, it dies. It is born, it dies. Brahman, when I understand myself to be, not the Sharira, then my Dharma is Amarana Dharma. Therefore, Acharya says, Amarana Dharmanaha, who have Amarana Dharma, because they recognize Ekam Brahma, and therefore they recognize I, Atma is Brahman, therefore Amarana Dharma. Te Amarana Dharma Bhavanti, Amritaha Bhavanti. Amritaha is Amarana Dharma. So all laws, all understanding of laws, all removal of ajnanam in the Jagat are all possibilities given to us. And if they're all given, the automatic question is, who is the giver? And that is what this is all about. Who is this giver? And if you look at this as I is the giver for all of these, because I is Brahman. Then there is the next mantra. There is a mantra in Taittiriya Upanishad. Bhishma, Bhishasma, Vata, Pravate, Vata, Pavate, moves. Bhishodeti Surya. Surya and sun rises because of fear, Bhishma. Vishate Agnische Chandrascha. Similar. Mrityur Dhavati Panchamaiti. Very similar mantra is given here. That everything follows this laws given by Shashanakarta. And shows this, and again uses the word bhaya or bhisha in Taittiriya Upanishad. And we have discussed this bhaya. Why does the word bhaya, why is that word has been used here? Why not the law, niyama? We looked at that. And that is because of the way we look at an example and say these are all following the law given by that Jagat Karanam Brahma. Let's read the verse. Bhayat yasyagnishtapati.
Tapati.
Bhayat tapati suryah.
Tapati
Suryah.
Suryah.
Bhayad indrascha vayuscha.
Indrasya Vayuscha.
Vayuscha.
Mrityur dhavati panchamah.
Mrityurdhavati
Mrityurdhavati
Panchamaha.
Panchamaha.
Agnihi tapati bhayat. Kasya bhayat? Asya bhayat. Shashanakartasya bhayat. Out of, in quotes, fear of the Shashanakarta, fire burns. Fire has heat. So we should read it as, by the laws of Parabrahma, Agni heats. Same thing with Surya. Bhayat Surya tapati. Asya bhayat. Brahmasya bhayat. Similarly, Indra, Vayu, Bhayat, Indrascha, Vayuscha, and Indrascha, Vayuscha, Mrityuhu api dhavati. Mrityu, Indra, Vayu, etc., they move around. Connecting this verse, Bhashyakara has a sentence here, he says, Katham tad bhayat.
कथं
कथं
तत्
कथं
तद्भयात्
तद्भयात्
जगत् वर्तते इति
जगत्
जगत्
वर्तते
वर्तते
इति
इति
आह
आह
This bhaya that we've been talking about in the previous mantra, how does this operate? How do all things operate as per law because of the mandate of the Shasnakarta? This is given in this mantra. Bhayad asyagnit tapati, bhayad tapati surya. It's taking the same 5 elements. But in Taittiriya Upanishad, it says, Bhishat Vata Pavate. The wind moves around because of Bhisha, Bhaya. Bhishat Udeti Surya. Sun rises because of. Here, slightly different, he uses the same thing. Agnihi Tapati. And also Surya Tapati. And there it takes 2 more elements. Bhayacha Agnischa Chandrascha. Agnihi and Chandra is taken up as third and fourth element there. Here also taken Chandrascha Vayuscha. There Vayu was taken the first one. But same 5 elements. And Mrityur Dhavati Panchama iti. Here it says Mrityur Dhavati Panchamaha. This Panchama is only a count. Because it's taken 4 elements. Agni and Surya. There this is Surya Udeti. It is Surya Tapati. Agni Tapati, Surya Tapati. 2 elements taken care of. Then Indra and Vayu. 4 elements. The 5th element is Mrityu. Lord Mrityu. Now look at who is talking. Lord Mrityu himself is talking. Mrityu Dhavati. Why Dhavati? It's not Chalati. Because the order in which Lord Mrityu operates in this Jagat is not a linear order. He doesn't line up all the people and say, this is the oldest person, take him first. This is the next oldest, take him first. Take him next. The third oldest, take him. There's no such rule. It jumps. Today, a 71-year-old man somewhere, and then jumps somewhere else for a cradle death. Child. So, Mrityur Dhavati. It is not a simple equation. It is, he says, I jump around, picking up people whose time has come. Their time has come not because of how many years they live, because their prarabdha is already exhausted. There is no more need for the sharira. Therefore, mrityu takes over. Same 5 elements. So nothing much here. It's really an extension of what was said earlier to re-emphasize the fact that all components, all elements of the Jagat, both sentient and insentient, all of them follow laws that have been already mandated. No new law is there. No new knowledge is there. We are only slowly discovering these laws by removing ignorance within the Jagat. And we are engaged in that all the time and forgetting to look at that knowledge which alone is enough. It is as though you know everything. That is why only a small group of people like us will go searching for that knowledge. We will continue our search in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Namaskaram. Dhanyavadah.